Hello everyone, I'm weather anchor Stacey Ann Gooden. All eyes are on the tropics. We are tracking Isaac. Now I want to break down and explain all about hurricanes and its quadrants, how it's divided. It's divided into 4 parts. Each part we call a quadrant. Now, normally speaking, we expect the most damage of a hurricane right around the right front. That's where you get the most impact. Damaging winds, flooding, all of that action and more. And of course, the left quadrant. That's where we see the significant storm surge. So that's why we are so concerned with what's happening out in Louisiana, especially the coastal section right around New Orleans. The back right, that's where we get significant wind damage. Already seeing a lot of that. In fact, we're seeing some tornadic activity that's been reported across portions of the Gulf. The back left, the weakest but still dangerous. We can't count that area out just yet. Of course, right now we are expecting Isaac to take a northwesterly path before heading right up north, and that's what we're expecting in the next 24 to 36 hours. In fact, there are some hurricane warnings and even watches posted in and around the Gulf area. So here's where we're going to see the significant impact. Around the Florida Panhandle, already seeing a lot of that. And just off here, that quadrant right around here, we're seeing a lot of that storm surge, and we expect that again around Tuesday within the next 24 to 36 hours. And although this quadrant right here is the weakest, still can't rule that out completely. Now, another thing, we're tracking our wind speeds. The gusts are really going to be packing a punch in the coming days. If you look closely, this all right here signifies Isaac. The brighter the colors, the heavier the damage, the more downpours that's expected. Of course, if you look off here, highlighted in blue, that's where we're getting, well, we're getting some strong winds, but just not as strong. But take a look as we advance us further. By around Wednesday morning or so, we're expecting wind gusts at around 110 miles per hour. So there is a good shot that Isaac could become a Category 2. It's a little early. We don't want to, start that just yet. But right around now, we are seeing Isaac take this track where it's just sitting out in the Gulf. And the reason why we're so concerned about that is because those warm ocean waters act as fuel and could potentially help to intensify Isaac in the coming days. Once on land, the opposite occurs. The friction from the land will help to kind of rip it apart, and eventually Isaac will dissipate and head further north up into the Midwest and eventually into the Great Lakes, and we'll see those winds slowly taper off. So it looks like we do have a big next couple of days ahead of us. Now, taking a look at Isaac's track right now, at about 70-mile-an-hour winds, on the cusp of becoming a Category 1. As Isaac continues to track further north, we'll eventually lose some steam, but right around Tuesday, we're expecting Isaac to make landfall. And there is a potential, depending on how things go, could be a strong Category 1 or even a Category 2. By Wednesday, we'll start to weaken just a little bit, and then we'll surely lose some strength and eventually become a remnant low. By around Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time, we're seeing Isaac take a track in toward the Midwest and eventually veer off, becoming more northeasterly. And we could potentially, depending on how these models go, could potentially see a few downpours in portions of New York State and western Pennsylvania as well. But we're not going to be directly impacted by Isaac here in our area. So again, all of our models, the general consensus, making landfall around the Louisiana area, potentially New Orleans, right on over near the Mississippi border, or even further ways east in toward Alabama, Florida border. But it looks like right around here is where we're expecting. It looks like that's the general consensus. Folks in the deep south will be getting hit with a lot of heavy downpours and storm action. The remnants will continue further ways north and eventually east in toward the Great Lakes, and eventually we may see a few remnant showers and potential storms out in portions of New York. And that's we're not going to expect a whole lot of action in our area, but it's something that we're going to continue to track for you. So be sure to keep it tuned in tight to News 12, news12.com for all the latest details.